broken. This is the akasasamapatti. Second samapatti, this immense and infinite space is grasped by the intellect. This vast object distracts the ascetic and can even destroy his absorption. Contemplating space, the ascetic sees feelings, notions, formations and consciousnesses which seem to him to be a sickness, an ulcer, a wound and an arrow, transitory, painful, empty and non-self, an accumulation of deceits without true reality. Thinking in this way, he abandons the akasa object and holds only the consciousness. Does he hold the present, the past, future consciousness, or the immense, infinite consciousness? He holds the immense and infinite consciousness. Since this consciousness is immense and infinite like akasa, the absorption is called the absorption of the sphere of infinite consciousness. Third samapatti. This immense and infinite vijnana is perceived by the intellect. This vast object distracts the ascetic and can destroy his absorption. On contemplating this consciousness, the ascetic perceives sensations, notions, formations and consciousnesses which seem to him to be a sickness, ulcer, wound and an arrow, transitory, painful, empty and non-self, an accumulation of deceit, without true reality. Thinking this way, he destroys the image of vijnana, rejects the vijnanayatana and praises the sphere of nothingness. Destroying the images of the vijnana, he fixes his mind on nothingness, and this is what is called the absorption of sphere of nothingness. Fourth samapatti. In this akamkanyayatana, he perceives sensations, notions, formations and consciousnesses that seem to him to be a sickness, an ulcer, a wound, an arrow, transitory, painful, empty and non-self, an accumulation of deceit, without true reality. While he is meditating thus, the sphere of non-consciousness seems to him to be an ulcer and the sphere of consciousness seems to him to be a sickness, an ulcer, a wound and an arrow. For him, the sphere par excellence is the sphere of neither discernment nor non-discernment. Question. But the naivasam nanasamnayatana involves sensations, notions, formations and consciousnesses. Why do you call it neither discernment nor non-discernment? Answer. There is discrimination in this sphere, but as it is very subtle and hard to perceive, we speak of non-discrimination. On the other hand, since there is discrimination, we add not non-discrimination. Ordinary people claim to attain the true nature of dharmas in this sphere and identify it with nirvana. But in the Buddhist system, although it is known that this sphere includes discrimination, the old name is retained and it is called the sphere of neither discrimination nor non-discrimination. Question. What is non-discrimination? Answer. There are three kinds of non-discrimination. I. The absorption of non-discrimination. E. The absorption of the cessation of discrimination and feeling the non-discriminating gods. The worldly person who wants to destroy his mind enters into the sam j navde atani rodha samapatti. IV. Questions relating to the dhyanas. Pure and impure path. There are two kinds of dhyanas and samapattis. Impure and pure. The sasrava type is practiced by worldly people as has already been said. The anasrava type consists of the 16 aspects of the Noble Truths. When one is following the sasravamarga, one relies on the preliminary concentration of the level immediately above in order to abandon the passions of the lower level. When one is following the anasravamarga, one abandons the passions of one's own level and those of the higher level. This is why, when the worldly person is in the bhavagra fourth and last samapatti, he does not succeed in freeing himself from the passions of this sphere, because beyond it there is no preliminary concentration leading to a higher sphere. When the disciple of the Buddha wishes to abandon the desires and passions of kamadhatu, by means of meditation he cuts the 9 categories of passions, strong, medium and weak, namely 1. Strong strong, 2. Strong medium, 3. Strong weak, 4. medium strong 5, medium, medium 6, medium weak 7, weak strong 8, weak medium 9, weak weak. Having cut these 9 categories, the disciple of the Buddha can try to obtain the first dhyana by the sasravamarga. In this case, in the anagamya, in the course of 9 anantaryamargas, he first practices the sasravamarga, then the sasrava or anasravamarga. In the course of the 9th vimuktimarga, in the anagamya, he first practices the sasravamarga. Then the sasrava or anasravamarga of the anagamya, and the sasrava of the samantaka of the first dhyana. If he wishes to attain the first dhyana by way of the anasravamarga, he will do the same. If he abandons the passions of the first dhyana by means of the sasravamarga, in the samantaka of the second dhyana, during 9 anantaryamargas and 8 vimuktimargas, he first practices the sasrava of the samantaka of the second dhyana, then the sasravamarga of the samantaka of the second dhyana as well as the first anasrava dhyana and its sequel. During the 9th vimuktimarga, in the samantaka of the second dhyana, he first practices the sasravamarga of the samantaka of the second dhyana, then the samantaka of the second dhyana, then the anasrava of the first dhyana and its sequel, the second shuddhaka or anasrava dhyana. If he abandons the passions of the first dhyana by means of the anasravamarga, during the course of 9 anantaryamargas and 8 vimuktimargas, he first practices the anasravamarga of his own level, the sasrava or anasrava of the first dhyana and its sequel. In the course of the 9th vimuktimarga, he first practices the anasravamarga of his own level, then the sasrava or anasravamarga of the first dhyana and its sequel. It is the same in the practice of the other concentrations from the second shuddhaka or anasrava dhyana up to the abandonment that characterizes the akampanyayatana. In the abandonment that characterizes the naivasamnanasamnayatana, during the 9 anantaryamargas and 8 vimuktimargas, he practices just the universal anasravamarga. In the course of the 9th vimuktimarga, he practices the roots of good of the threefold world and the anasravamarga. Thus he drives out absorption without mind. Development of the dhyanas. There are 2 types of development. I. Development by acquisition. E. Development by practice. Development by acquisition is to obtain now what one had not earlier obtained. Later one will cultivate the thing itself and its general complement. Development by practice is to cultivate at present that which one had earlier obtained. But later one will not cultivate the complements. These are the different developments in the course of the dhyanas and the samapatis. Types of concentration. In brief, the characteristic traits of the dhyanas and the samapatis are 23 in number, 8 concentrations of enjoyment, 8